What is up, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? Another day in paradise over here. Look who has blessed us with his presence. We have Tsukasa here, the man, the myth, the legend, the strongest primate. I mean, just think about that. He's not even getting compared to humans anymore. He's the strongest primate. This fool is stronger than a gorilla. Definitely miss this character. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about the power boost he got. And we're going to talk about what led to me actually getting this character. Because here's the thing. We got 2 days left, and I was like, you know what? I got to go for some green. I got to see a goddamn green orb. I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. Between Dr. Stone Part 1 and 2 and Zekas's banner, who I was like 20 pulls short of pitying, that's 6 chips, ladies and gentlemen. And to finish this collab off, I threw another 4 chips at it today. That's 10 chips for you gamblers out there. 10 chips, ladies and gentlemen. So we really need to do something about how contaminated our pool is. 10 chips is absolutely ridiculous. I cleared I can clear a Landgrisser banner for half a chip. Let's just put that into perspective here. And by no means did I clear this entire banner. I only managed to pull 1 green orb. No UR arc, no other LR arc. But here's the thing, your boy's still a happy camper, because I did end up getting Tsukasa. Let me just give you guys a play-by-play. We go into the gacha, you guys can see exactly how brutal this was. So, trying to get some green, I went to lap 4 of this step up. Just trying to, any green at all. And of course, these have to be paid. These are the ones, I believe, that have a rate up for the actual arcs. So, let's see. We got all the way to lap 4 here, even though I didn't need to. This was the character that I pulled right off of step 1, right? And then over here, we got to, lap 4. we got lap 4 into both of the step ups. And kind of halfway into, I was doing a pull here and doing a pull there, and then I stopped and I was like, all right, I actually got to be smart about this. There's no way in hell I'm going to nab up both of these, so I need to decide exactly which arc I want. At the time, I didn't have Tsukasa. So actually, I started looking over both of these arcs and really thinking about it. Now, I've already made a video about the Empire of Might arc, probably like 4 or 5 days ago, pretty much just predicting how future-proof this thing's going to be and how absolutely effing clutch it is for any spear users. And not to mention, they did just premiere a pretty awesome dark-looking spear user. We are talking about the oh god, the name starts with a D. I can't even pronounce his or her name, but the real advocate for the Dark God, the one that's actually brainwashing Theria's brother and all that, because they weren't real advocates for the God of Ruin. They were just brainwashed. But the real one's the one doing all the brainwashing, super powerful looking character, pretty much stops the whole crew in their tracks right before they actually get to the God of Ruin. And that is where we're at in the storyline. So that character will be dropping. I do like to collect the baddies, and just by looking at that character, I can already tell you right now, it's going to be a Dark Element user. This is just my prediction, IMO. And it's going to be one hell of a spear user. So this arc right here is just a must if you actually look, if you want to be running spear users. This isn't just good for Tsukasa. I think this is going to be good for future spear units. Other players agree with me because there are such clutch custom abilities here. Forget about spear boost. We have the Kangaroo spear style. That's amazing. Mind you, all of these buffs work whether you have 1 spear equipped or 2. That's a big difference, because we do have another arc that has 2-handed spear boost. It's a nice boost, but you can only have 1 spear equipped. Well, all of these things on this arc, they work when you're dual wielding spears. So an Empire of Might, super useful all around. Great for arena, for what you're getting, for 7 SC, great for tower. It's going to be great for a lot of things. Dark Critical Rise, I will take a Critical Rise all day. I'll have to go through my dark characters and see who can actually take advantage of this. I have a feeling some of my characters will actually be able to use that. But really, I'm here for the Empire of Might, the spear style, the spear boost. This is just going to be clutch. On top of that, the Arc Ether reward, comparing the Arc Ether reward from this arc to the other arc, it's night and day. The Statue of Might, this is one of the... Man, this thing is worth a couple hundred strength on its own. And it's giving you some good resistance to stun and stuff like that. So the Statue of Strength takes the cake hands down. The other arc gives you a 6-star item with no stats that lets you crit with all science magic. Now that's great because it's covering all elements, but the fact of the matter is you're probably only going to be using 1 or 2 elements fighting a boss. So then you can just pay 5 or 6 SC to get crit fire or crit lightning for your generator to be able to crit. So you can just pick and choose which elements you want to crit with. So that item, I don't know if it's worth an item slot, specifically because when we go to a boss fight, we know we're pretty much going to just be using 1 or 2 elements. Now that other arc does give you a boost to science magic damage. That's really what I was kind of going after. But the more I thought about it, these characters that I'm using, Gain, Chrome, they're not going to just be throwing that many spells without dropping their kits because their kits do so much. So it's not like they're going to be full-blown casters just standing there casting over and over again. And if I want them to do that, I have spell linkage, so that should increase their damage and get them up to damage cap, especially when they're dropping the same spell over and over again. But for the most part, I can go in there and choose which elements I want to crit with. I can critique it for the fight, and that's what all this comes down to. So that being said, this is the arc that I actually tried to pull for. It just seemed more future-proof to me. I'm interested in the spear characters, and I absolutely love Tsukasa. So of course, got all the way up to Lab 4. Finally, a solo red came down and actually turned blue. Couldn't believe it. I was super happy. And then I was like, man, the icing on the cake is if I could pull a Tsukasa right now. So I took some of my free lapis, and the very first pull I did, a Tsukasa actually came down, and I was just like, alright, it's litty like a titty today. I don't even feel bad about the 5 chips. You know, I kind of do because, damn, that's a lot, right? I mean, that's like a car payment for some people. So we need to loosen up on that, last Cloudia. We got a bigger player base. You guys need to try to support growth a little bit better than this. I honestly don't think that such clutch abilities should be locked behind such a damn paywall for spear users. That's pretty much what they're doing. And let's be real here, Tsukasa himself is quite the damn paywall character. Okay? But so I got this arc for him. This takes him to a whole nother level just because of what the arc attribute does. It's made for Tsukasa. He's on the damn thing. On top of that, I'll be able to get the statue. So the only thing I will be missing from a Tsukasa max build, in my opinion, is the steel-tipped spear. I'm not going to try to pull the arc for it because really the only thing that arc does, the Sulfurina arc, I didn't really like the ability, the AoE damage that it does to enemies around you, but it also hurts you. I played around with it on my old account. I was not that impressed with it. This is the arc that you actually want to put on Tsukasa. But that other arc does drop a silver tip spear, and that silver tip spear gives him illness resistance 1, stun resistance 1, which is very important for him, I think, and something else on top of having high stats. So that is what I'm missing. I'm not going to stress for it. It's not like missing this arc. Missing the silver tip spear is taking, in my opinion, probably about 10% of that character's max potential. 10%. And I might be able to find a better spear later. Without this arc, you're down to like 70%. That's a huge difference. So as far as the character's overall potency, I would much rather be missing that silver tip spear and still pretty much have the character to max or as close to it as I can, than be missing this arc and be missing like 30% of the character's max power over that. So I'm happy about this arc. This was like the icing on the cake. This was the only green orb I could get to drop during this whole event. I'm happy that it's this, and I'm happy that I got Tsukasa. Let's talk about how much of a goddamn paywall they do have Tsukasa behind. First of all, even his weapon, even his spear that you do want him to have, it costs 50 of the hero credentials, not 25. You can get Senku's coat for 25, you can get Kuhaku's blades for 25. But when it comes to Tsukasa, it was straight up 50 for his spear. And he's the only character they've done that to, I believe. Zuglis was the first character that had a paid weapon. His was 50. After that, after Zuggy, they stopped charging 50 for the weapons. They dropped it down to like 25 for the most part. And then when Tsukasa dropped, because they snuck him in and caught a bunch of heat for it, they decided, hey, since we're sneaking this character in and he's going to be like a low-profile badass, let's just paywall his ass to the max, right? We'll make his spear cost 50 hero creds instead of just 25. You know what, though? At least this thing is worth it, because if we actually look at what this thing does, Tsukasa only, first of all, it's 135 strength, non-element, right? Tsukasa only, though, killer and slayer types enhance plus 20% and nullify the opponent's evasive effects. So you cannot dodge him. He's going to hit you. Okay? And you're getting 20% more to everything. Okay? Killers and slayers is everything. This guy is a boss killer and super breaker. So you are going to have the killers and slayers on you for whatever you're going to be fighting. And this is going to give you 20% more to your killer, to your slayer. Those are going to proc with every single thing you do. You do basic attacks, the killer procs. You use your kit, slayer procs. This spear effectively gives you 20% more damage to every effing thing he does, unless you're dumb enough to have him try to cast a spell, I guess. So the 135 strength does not matter here. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well add another 100 to that strength for that 20% more that you're getting to everything. So this is actually quite the gnarly ass spear. Do not let it fool you. It's a 5-star weapon. I would almost consider it a 6-star. And it's just another way of them kind of locking this character up. They did catch a lot of heat over Tsukasa, but I knew he was going to be a badass, because remember now, this guy also got upgraded along with Kohaku. I've already seen some of Kohaku's upgrades. This guy was already tanky as hell when he first dropped. People were talking about making straight up tank builds out of him because of how high his defense was. And let's see, he does get to just magic damage from enemies, minus 15%. When attacked with killer slayer abilities, nullify them. Exclude science magic. Physical attacks are effective against humans. So you got a human killer slayer built in there, and he's getting damage reduction from magic. He's nullifying killer and slayer types that are going to be used against him. I mean, just that alone, with the damage reduction and all the stuff he gets, it becomes quite damn near impossible to kill. When I first re-rolled my account, I set up my Tsukasa on my old account, who had the spear tip, the steel tip spear, and I used him to actually clear the event for this new account, because when this account was first made, I could not clear the events. It was a brand new account. So I would just run my Tsukasa from my old account. He would actually clear out the bosses for me. That is how I got through the REM event. It was actually because of the Tsukasa from my old account on my friends list. So that's how much of a badass this guy was back then. Now he's gotten upgraded even more. And now they've released a specialty arc pretty much just for him, with Trustmaster on it, pretty much just for him. And I managed to snag up all of that stuff for him and the next spear character. And I just don't have that silver tip spear. So the other cool thing is too, since this guy is locked to dark, I might not even run that silver. I might not even have room for the silver tip spear if I want to equip the pistol on him that disregards resistance. That's something you can do with this guy since he's locked into dark, but he's just doing so much damage. You just give him that pistol for 2 SC, and then that dark damage will get through. So that is a possibility for this character. It only costs 2 SC to equip a pistol. And let's not forget, this guy is always going to be bringing that gnarly ass S3. So much break. I'm already seeing this guy break the stone golem and stuff, and he's not even built. He has no break on him at all whatsoever. So I cannot wait to actually start dropping bombs. Also, with some of the arcs that we have out right now, and some of the things that they do, it really helps a character like this with some of the newer abilities that we have. We also have Gain. It's this guy's preferred supporter, right? If Gain is standing behind Tsukasa and feeding his kid, and Tsukasa literally does not run out of spear attacks, somebody's going to have a bad day. He's just going to break the shit out of everything with his S3 and wipe the floor with the map over and over again. So I can't wait to run both of them together, and we'll just have to see what it do. But so far, this is what I'm working on today. Trying to get the green orb to drop. I did pull a copy of Chrome, and I pulled a copy of Gain, I think. So that's going to help take some stress off of what I have to grind out in this event as far as getting shards for them. And I still have to work on the prisms, and I have like 2 days left now. And now I gotta fit Tsukasa in there. And I've already committed. I've already bought one of Tsukasa's prisms. So I have another prism to go for him. And then I have as many shards as I can farm out to actually get his SC up. I have Gain to finish up. I still have a prism to get for him and Chrome. And guess what? Last but not least, they did give me Senku. And he's going to be just sitting a bench right now. He's going to be warming that bench right now. There's not much else I can do. I'm too dedicated to working on these new characters. But it is cool to have Senku. So did officially clear this banner with all the characters, and managed to get one of the arcs. So that's where we're gonna end it today. That's what I'm working on. So expect videos soon. We'll be going over Tsukasa, and we'll actually be talking about how they upgraded him. And I just can't wait to get this guy together and actually. I got all the numbers going in my head. It's like an extra 45% to his damage, you know, plus now we have things that empower S4s more. There's obviously all these spear boosts to add to him. So there's just a lot. I can't wait to actually mess around with this guy. One of my favorite characters. This guy's a phenom for reals. So best of luck, everybody out there. I know we got a couple days left. Do your dailies, and hopefully you'll see some of them green orbs, but do not hold your breath because it's been brutal. Okay. I had a friend of mine tell me he literally dropped more chips than I did, and he did not even see one green orb. So really hope Adis does something about this soon. But yeah, for now I'm just going to ride this thing out and work on this bad mamma jamma, and I will keep you all updated. Have a nice day, everybody.